Members, on the previous point that was raised by the Honourable Thring, yes, indeed, it is not allowed to take videos or take photos during plenaries. So please stick to the rules. The DA.
Good afternoon, Honourable Speaker. The Cape Flats are under siege. It is heartbreaking to hear from communities and parents who want nothing more than for their children to grow up safe. Yet
Order, honourable members.
Bury them and watch them be swallowed by gangs and drugs. On Tuesday, during a meeting at the Mitchells Plain police station, we heard that children as young as 12 are being intimidated by gangs on their way to school and offered drugs. We must ask,
Order, honourable members.
Why are the SAPS not conducting more frequent searches in schools to remove drugs and weapons? And why, after years of promises, do police stations remain under-resourced, understaffed, and crippled by vacancies? What we need is smart, intelligence-led policing. We need properly resourced training colleges that can produce professional officers equipped for modern crime fighting. And above all, we need more boots on the ground. Instead, the SAPS personnel members...
Honourable members, Honourable Dugmore, please allow the Speaker to conclude the statement.
To the Acting Minister of Police, devolve policing powers to capable provinces like the Western Cape so that real solutions can be implemented before more innocent lives are lost. Even President Cyril Ramaphosa has acknowledged that the Western Cape is a well-run province. But we also know...
Order, honourable members.
...be separated from opportunity.
Order, honourable members.
Where poverty and hopelessness take...
Honourable members, order.
The DA's plan to turbocharge the...
Honourable Schikkerling, just a moment, please. Honourable members. Honourable member there at the back. Honourable member with a South African scarf. Honourable member, you are out of order. Honourable members, we allow everyone the right to be heard. And this is not acceptable. We do not allow howling and jeering. Honourable Michalakis, what is your point of order?
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, as you've just said, the member has a right to be heard. She was drowned, respectfully, by the ANC. You can't accept that it's a national function. May I request, Deputy Speaker, that the member be afforded an opportunity for the portion that she was drowned to please repeat her statement.
Honourable Michalakis, I will rule on that. Honourable Mkalipi, what is your point of order? I'm still busy with this point of order, but is it related?
The GNU can't bore us. They must just sort out their own issues.
Honourable Mkalipi, that's not a point of order.
Here.
Honourable Mkalipi, could I also just ask, on the ANC bench in front, that microphone is still activated. Could you please just switch that off, please? It does cause some interference. Honourable Schikkerling, please proceed with your statement. And honourable members, we have to respect the decorum of the House. Even if you don't like what a person is saying, they have a right to say it, and it goes for everyone. Honourable member, please proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. As I was saying, real solutions can only be implemented soon before more innocent lives are lost. Even President Ramaphosa has acknowledged that the Western Cape is a well-run province. But we also know that safety cannot be separated from opportunity. Gangs thrive where poverty and hopelessness take root. That is why the DA's plan to turbocharge the economy by cutting red tape and creating real jobs is essential to breaking the cycle of crime. When young people see a future for themselves, they do not fall into the trap of gangsterism. South Africans deserve both safety and
Thank you, honourable member.
And the DA has a plan to deliver both. Thank you.
The MK. Is there a statement from the MK? The MK.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I rise on behalf of Umkhonto weSizwe Party acknowledging that the death of Steve Bantu Biko in 1977 remains one of the most painful stains of apartheid brutality. The inquest held in 1978 confirmed that he died from brain injuries sustained after severe beatings while in police detention. The fact was never in dispute. What is absurd, however, was the magistrate's finding that no one is responsible. This was a blatant miscarriage of justice, a manipulation to shield apartheid perpetrators from accountability. To now call for a second inquest is to risk deflection from the central issue. The truth is already on record. What remains is not another inquest, but for this parliament to act to honor Steve Bantu Biko's memory by demanding justice, accountability, and closure for his family and for the nation. The MK party stands firmly for justice, and we will not allow history to be rewritten to protect the guilty. I thank you.
Thank you. The ANC.
The African National Congress congratulates UNISA under the leadership of Prof. Puleng Lekankabula for hosting the first national conventions as convened by President Ramaphosa. The convention was staged at August State University to facilitate a consultative, inclusive, and a cross-cutting discussion on key themes to dominate the national convention. We commend the footwork that underlined the preparation of this momentous occasion and acknowledge the outstanding contribution that UNISA offered. This institution has become the beacon of hope and constantly hosts national satellite events such as the G20, the SIU anti-corruption seminars, and many other significant events. In partnership with the Republic of South Africa, UNISA has shown great commitment to advance the best interests of the country, using education as an important lever in bridging the poverty and inequality gap. As a patriotic front, the University of South Africa is left to its name as the University of the Land, and when called upon to serve the national interest, it has unstintedly accepted the invitation. Once again, we congratulate UNISA's leadership and encourage its management, as led by Prof. Lenkabula, to continue propelling this kingdom of humankind to greater heights. I thank you.
The EFF.
Deputy House Chairperson, the United Nations General Assembly resolved in its majority on 12 September 2025 to adopt the resolution endorsing the New York Declaration on the peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and the implementation of the two-state solution. We welcome this decision as a step towards justice and peace, yet 10 unprogressive and warmongering countries, including the apartheid state of Israel and United States, voted against this resolution, joined by 8 others. Despite this global call, Israel continues its genocide in Palestine, destroying homes, schools, hospitals, and civilian infrastructure in blatant violation of international humanitarian law, inflicting untold suffering on the Palestinian people. Equally alarming are Israel's continued attempts to expand illegal settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory in defiance of international law and Security Council resolutions. The House will recall that the 6th Parliament of South Africa passed a resolution to cut all diplomatic relations with Israel. To this day, President Cyril Ramaphosa has failed to implement that progressive resolution. As the EFF, we reaffirm our principal position on the question of Palestine, the inalienable right of the Palestinian people to self-determination and the establishment of an independent state of Palestine. We condemn the ongoing Israeli aggression in Gaza, which has already claimed more than 64,000 lives. We therefore call for an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire across Gaza and all occupied Palestinian territories. Free Palestine.
The IFP.
Ngiyabonga Sekela Somlomo. The Inkatha Freedom Party is deeply disturbed by the recent spate of brutal killings in Cape Town, which once again lay bare the scourge of gang-related violence gripping our communities. These murders are not only senseless, but reflect a chilling regard for human life. Too many families in townships across South Africa live in constant fear, which with children robbed of safe spaces to learn, grow, and dream. Central to this crisis is the proliferation of illegal firearms in our communities, which continues to fuel bloodshed and entrench criminal networks. The IFP calls for 2 immediate interventions. First, a coordinated national crackdown on the illegal gun trade, with targeted operations in high-risk areas, and second, a strengthening of community policing forums supported by increased resources to SEPs to restore trust and visibility on the ground. South Africans cannot continue to live under fear. Life must be valued again. Konke lokhu kubangwa ukuntuleka kweinhloli kanjalo neinzwebeli ezweni lethu. Ngiyabonga.
The ANC.
Thank you, Speaker. The scale of crime in the Western Cape is alarming. Since January, more than 2,000 people have been wounded or killed province-wide. In June, over 30 murders have occurred in mass shooting incidents across the Cape Flats. Again in August, more than 30 members were reported in the province. This includes incidents in Delft, Gugulethu, Athlone, Manenberg, Hanover Park, Nyanga, and many other areas. In Mitchell's Plain in particular, at least 12 people were shot dead during the first weekend of September. Colored and Black communities are being held hostage by crime. This is unacceptable. The response from the Western Cape government has been inadequate. Instead of addressing the crisis, officials have downplayed its severity and directed concerns to the study of the Premier's safety plan. Crime prevention initiatives are almost non-existent, and to the boots on the ground. Policing strategy has had minimal effects. Community structures across the Cape Flats, frustrated by inaction, and are now calling for the removal of the provincial subs-commissioner. We call on the Western Cape government to take urgent and decisive action. People of this province deserve protection, effective policing and crime prevention measures, and restore safety and confidence in their communities. Without meaningful interventions, lives will continue to be lost and communities will remain trapped in cycles of violence. These are our brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, and aunts, uncles as well, each with responsibility.
Thank you, Honourable Member.
Which lives have been cut short. I thank you.
The NCC. Honourable Michalakis, what is your point of order?
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, I just want to inquire. Member statements also afford an opportunity for the national government to reply. Is it allowed for member statements that call on provincial governments to do something, which is not their function in the first place, but to call on provincial governments to respond if they don't have a seat in this House? Is that in order, or are member statements only related to the national government, ministers?
Honourable Member, I think that is a matter that the member raised in general to the Western Cape. I don't think the expectation is that the Western Cape will reply here. We will leave that to ministers' replies. The NCC. Honourable Members, order. Honourable Members. Honourable Member, would you allow this House to proceed, please? It seems that the NCC is not here. The DA.
Deputy Speaker, South Africans are being forced to pay a 54 billion rand new tax. This isn't a tax for services. It's not for roads or for schools. It's a 54 billion rand tax for incompetence. A tax to pay for the catastrophic failure of this government's energy regulator, NERSA. In a presentation to Parliament, NERSA admitted that they found this multi-billion rand error in January. They were told to fix it. They even claimed they had fixed it. But 5 months later, in June, they went ahead and published the wrong numbers anyway. So let's call this what it is. This is not a simple mistake. It's a 5-month-long cover-up of gross negligence, and now they expect ordinary South Africans to pay for it. At a time when the Competition Commission confirms electricity prices have surged by a crippling 68% in 5 years, Eskom and NERSA have found a way to punish citizens even more. The Democratic Alliance will not stand for this. We demand real accountability. We call on the minister to launch a proper investigation into the officials responsible for this to face appropriate consequences. Not just the junior staffer that is being blamed, but the senior management and the full-time regulators that signed off on that mistake. And we demand an urgent, independent review of the entire electricity pricing policy in order to put consumers first. This 54 billion rand blunder is the final damning proof that the system is broken beyond repair. We have an ineffectual regulator protecting a failing monopoly. South Africa needs affordable, reliable electricity, not another 54 billion rand state-sponsored bailout.
The UDM. The UDM. Not, we proceed. The ANC. The ANC.
Deputy Speaker, the African National Congress is of the view that 84 vehicles handed over to the Hawks
Order, honourable members.
Ministry of Police on Tuesday, 8 September 2025 will go a long way in assisting the Directorate to fight crime and corruption. Some of these vehicles are intended to help officers fight violent crime like cash in transit, robberies and police killings. The vehicles comprise of Volkswagen, Golfs, BMWs and Bakkies. We therefore welcome this intervention by the Ministry of Police. The Hawks play a critical role in the investigation of national priority offences, namely serious organized crimes, serious corruptions, and serious commercial crimes. These are more than just cars. They are a step closer towards the restoration of trust and confidence in the Directorate and the whole criminal justice system value chain. They should be used responsible to protect the vulnerable and fight organized crimes. These vehicles should empower investigators to ensure they locate, record, and process the evidence timely and allow for consultation with relevant stakeholders, witnesses, and the prosecution. We hope the deployment thereof will be executed with utmost care. Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you. The MK.
Honourable Speaker, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa has admitted under his watch, poor leadership, corruption, and ANC political battles have destroyed municipalities and collapsed service delivery. Some may say this is courageous, but it is not. It is desperation, the last kick of a dying horse. On the eve of the looming local elections, Mr. Ramaphosa pretends to renew the ANC by blaming his own councillors and announcing new action plans, reports, and accountability measures. But Honourable Speaker, our people are not fooled. Ramaphosa's presidency has overseen the total breakdown of local government, failing water systems, decaying infrastructure, and daily service delivery protests have become the norm. The ANC under Ramaphosa has had every opportunity to deploy ethical and skilled leaders. Instead, he has protected factions, defended corruption, and watched municipalities rot. The MK party reminds this House, the people of South Africa are done with excuses. They are done with empty plans while their taps runs dry and their towns crumble. And the people of South Africa are waiting for the best party that will deliver service delivery to them, the MK party.
The EFF.
Deputy Speaker, South Africans continue to celebrate the diverse traditions, languages, and identities that make up our nation. They celebrate with pain because alongside the beauty of our cultures, we are reminded of the ugly persistence of apartheid and colonial legacies, visible in the names of towns, streets, rivers, mountains, and valleys. Offensive and dehumanizing names such as Kafferstad, Kafferskraal, Kaffersberg, Nooit Gedachte, Harry Smith, Krugersdorp, and many others remain a stain on our democratic project and an insult to the dignity of African people. All major land features still carry colonial names instead of the names that indigenous people have always called them. The great river Leikwa is called Vaal. The great river Harib is called Orange River. The Maluti Mountains are called Drakensberg. The Namahadi River is called Velge. And just behind this parliament, the sacred mountain of the Khoi, the Hurikwaga, is called Table Mountain. Black children in township and rural schools are still doing Afrikaans as a second and additional language, while Afrikaner children in Limpopo and Northwest are not being taught our native languages. The democratic dispensation promised not only political rights, but also the restoration of our cultural dignity and historical pride. Yet 3 decades later, we're still surrounded by reminders of conquest and dispossession.
The ANC.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Jobs Boost Outcomes Fund. Oh, I thought you said.
Yes, please proceed.
Just that I can't hear. Jobs Boost Fund South Africa's pioneering Youth Employment Fund has been recognized on the global stage as one of the 10 selected projects of the Outcomes Finance Alliance's Outcomes Accelerator. The fund provides grants that will be used for the scale-up of Jobs Boost and has already seen over 6,000 excluded young people placed into quality jobs. We are delighted that this program, as part of the Presidency's Presidential Youth Employment Intervention, in brackets PYEI, is on track to exceed targets when it concludes at the end of 2025. Launched in 2023, it trains and placed unemployed youth from disadvantaged backgrounds into sustainable quality jobs and pays for results when those jobs are secured and sustained. Jobs Boost is one of 2 South African initiatives selected from over 500 applications to the Outcomes Accelerator. Half of this year's winners have an African presence, underscoring the continent's growing leadership in innovative finance for impact. Thank you.